I'm exhausted, sir. I'm so tired. Wake up, go to work. Come home, deal with the kids. Weekends, take care of my aging parents. My wife just asked me why we have less money this month. I told her the company cut bonuses. She looked at me like I'm a failure. I don't know anymore. I've sacrificed everything, and why doesn't anyone see it?
You said sacrifice. Define it again.
I gave up everything. My time, my health. There's nothing left for myself. I'm living entirely for them.
Living for them, or living to wait for them to notice.
I don't understand what you mean.
You will. But first, tell me, last week, how many hours did you burn complaining about not being recognized?
I didn't count, but many times. So many times.
Each time you complain, you lose 30 minutes thinking about it. 7 times a week, that's 3.5 hours. A month is 14 hours. You just hemorrhaged 14 hours on self-pity alone. That's the price of waiting for others to praise you.
But I deserve to be recognized. I've done so much.
Deserve. That dangerous word. Sit down. I'll show you what game you're playing.
What game?
You know the game of digging a well in the desert?
I don't.
A man digs a well in the middle of the desert. He digs all day, sweat pouring, hands cracking. But he's not digging because the village needs water. He's digging because he wants the villagers to come watch, applaud, and say, "You're amazing." Then, when no one comes, he sits by the well and complains. "I dug and no one praised me." Do you see the problem?
But I'm not digging for praise. I'm doing it because my family needs it.
Really? Then why does it hurt when no one recognizes you? If you were doing it because they need it, recognition wouldn't matter. But you're in pain. That proves you're not doing it for them. You're doing it because you need them to see you doing it.
No, that's not true.
Do you want me to believe that, or do you want to believe that? Because if you just want me to believe it, you're wasting time. But if you want to believe it, I'll shatter that illusion right now.
I don't know anymore. Maybe you're partly right. But I'm still tired. I'm still in pain.
Good. You're starting to be honest. Now I ask, when you sacrifice, did you ask your wife what she wanted?
I know what my wife wants. She wants money. She wants the kids in good schools. She wants my parents to be healthy.
Wrong. You don't know what your wife wants. You only know what you think your wife wants. Those are two different things, and you've never asked, because if you asked, you might discover your wife wants something you can't give, and that thing isn't money.
Then what does my wife want?
You're asking me about your wife? Did you marry me? Go ask your wife. But I'll bet you won't ask, because you're afraid of the answer.
I'm not afraid. I'm just busy. I have to make money, take care of everything. I don't have time to sit around talking about feelings.
Don't have time. But you have time to complain for 14 hours every month. You have time to lie awake thinking about how no one understands you. You have time for anger. But you don't have 30 minutes to ask your wife, "What do you need from me?"
Fine. Suppose I ask. Suppose my wife says she wants me home more, wants me to care more. Then what? If I don't work, where does the money come from?
That's the right question, but you're asking it at the wrong time. You should have asked that before marriage, before having kids, before building the trap you now call family. But now it's too late. Now you have to play the game you created.
Trap? My family is a trap?
Your family isn't the trap. How you built your family is the trap. You built it on an implicit deal. I will sacrifice and you will recognize me. But no one agreed to that deal. Only you invented it. You made up the rules, then got angry when no one played along.
So what am I supposed to do? Abandon my family?
There you go, jumping to extremes. Classic move of someone who won't face reality. No, you don't need to abandon your family. You need to abandon the illusion.
What illusion?
The illusion that sacrifice brings meaning. The illusion that suffering makes you a hero. The illusion that if you endure long enough, one day everyone will kneel down and thank you.
Then what should I do?
Let me tell you about a child. This child doesn't do homework to learn. He does it so his mother will praise him. Every time he finishes, he runs out, "Mom, I'm done!" Then he stands there, waiting for her to look, waiting for her to speak. If she says, "Good job," he's happy. If she says, "Okay," he's sad. If she says nothing, he's angry. Do you see the problem?
That child isn't learning because he wants to learn.
Exactly. He's learning because he wants praise. And you're not living because you want to live. You're living because you want recognition. You're playing a role, the role of the sacrificing man. And you're waiting for the audience to applaud. But the audience is busy watching other shows. They don't care what role you're playing.
But I'm not acting. I'm really tired. I'm really hurting.
Of course you're tired. Of course you're hurting. Because acting is more exhausting than living. Acting requires you to control everything. Making sure everyone sees you're tired. Making sure they know you're hurting. You can't rest, because if you rest, who will see your sacrifice?
I'm not controlling anything. I'm just trying to survive each day.
Wrong. You control everything. You control how you tell the story. When you come home, you don't say, "Honey, I'm tired today, I need rest." You say, "I worked all day and I still have to take care of everything at home." You add, "still have to," so your wife knows you're sacrificing. You control every word, every tone to make sure everyone sees the role you're playing.
Then how should I say it? No one listens when I'm honest anyway.
That's the second reason you don't speak honestly. Not because no one listens, but because if you speak honestly, you have to face the truth. You're weak. You're scared. You don't know what to do. And that doesn't fit the role of the sacrificing man. So you keep acting, keep complaining, because complaining is safer than honesty.
Okay. Suppose you're right. Suppose I am acting. So what if I stop? If I stop sacrificing, what does my family live on?
You're confused again. I'm not telling you to stop working. I'm telling you to stop expecting. Working doesn't kill you. Expecting kills you. Every time you expect your wife to thank you, you die a little. Every time you expect your kids to respect you, you die a little. Because expectation turns action into investment, and investment demands returns.
So I'm not allowed to expect anything? I should be like a robot?
You're allowed to expect, but expect the right thing. Don't expect recognition. Expect to become who you want to become. That's the difference between working so others see you and working because that's who you choose to be.
I don't understand.
I ask you, if no one was watching, would you still do the things you're doing?
I'd have to. My family needs it.
I didn't ask family needs. I asked, would you still do it? If your wife was blind, if your kids were deaf, if your parents lost their minds, if no one could see your sacrifice, would you still sacrifice?
I don't know. Probably not.
That's your first honest answer. And that's why you're in pain. Because you're not doing it for values. You're doing it out of fear. Fear of not being seen. Fear of not mattering. Fear that if you stop, you'll disappear.
So how do I fix it?
Fix what? You're not broken. You're just playing the wrong game. You're playing sacrifice to be praised. No one wins that game. Because praise is scarce, and you're addicted to it. You need to switch to a different game.
What game?
The game of living because you choose, not because you're afraid.
I don't know how to play that game.
Let me tell you about a blacksmith. This blacksmith forges swords. He doesn't forge because the king needs swords. He forges because he is a blacksmith. Forging swords is how he exists. One day the king dies. No one needs swords anymore. But the blacksmith keeps forging because he doesn't forge for the king. He forges for the truth. He is a blacksmith. Do you understand?
You're saying I should do it because of who I am, not because others need it?
Close, but you're missing a step. You have to know who you are first. And that's the problem. You don't know. Because you've spent your whole life defining yourself through roles. You're a husband. You're a father. You're a son. But strip away all those roles. What are you?
I don't know.
That's why you're afraid to stop sacrificing. Because if you stop, you'll have to face that question. And you're afraid the answer is nothing. You're afraid that beneath all the roles, there's just emptiness.
So is there nothing?
I don't know. And you don't know either. Because you've never looked. You've spent your whole life covering that emptiness with roles, with sacrifice, with complaints. You built a skyscraper, but with no foundation. And now the building is leaning. You're afraid it'll collapse. But you won't look down at the foundation.
So what should I do?
Tear it down. Tear down the building you built. Not to destroy it, but to rebuild it. This time, start with the foundation. Start with the question, who am I when I have no roles?
But if I tear it down, what happens to my family?
Your family will be fine. They don't need the building you're propping up. They need a foundation. They need a man who knows who he is, not a man pretending to know. Your wife doesn't need your sacrifice. Your wife needs your honesty. Your kids don't need you to be perfect. Your kids need you present. But you can't give them those things because you don't have them. You only have the performance.
I don't know where to start.
Start by stopping the complaints. This week, every time you want to complain about not being recognized, ask, what am I expecting? Then ask, do I have the right to expect that? Then ask, if no one recognizes me, would I still do it? If the answer is yes, continue. If no, stop. Because it's not your value. It's just your need to be seen.
But what if I stop everything? What if there's nothing left?
Then you'll have your answer. and you can start building from there. But I suspect there is something. Something you've buried under years of performance. Something you've been too afraid to look at, because it might not match the role you've been playing.
You scare me.
Good. Fear means you're close to the truth. People only fear what can change them.
But if I change, I won't be me anymore?
You've never been you. You've only been the collection of roles others placed on you. Change isn't losing yourself. Change is finding yourself. But you have to be willing to crack the shell you're hiding behind.
I don't know if I'm strong enough.
You don't need to be strong. You only need to be honest. Strong is holding on. Honest is letting go. And letting go is much harder than holding on. Because letting go means you have to face what you've been trying to hide.
So what's the first question? The question to start with.
The first question isn't for me. It's for you. Tonight, before you sleep, look in the mirror and ask, if no one was watching, how would I live? Don't answer quickly. Let that question sleep with you. Let it corrode the shell you're wearing. Then tomorrow, if you still have courage, come back. I'll give you the second question.
And if I don't come back?
Then you'll keep performing, keep sacrificing, keep complaining. And one day when the building you built collapses, you'll look back and see you spent your whole life building something no one asked for, not because they didn't need you, but because they needed the real version of you, not the copy you thought they wanted.
I need time.
Time is what you don't have. Every day that passes, your shell hardens. Every year that passes, your building grows taller. And one day, it'll be too tall for you to tear down. Then you'll only be able to stand beneath it, look up and wonder, why did I build this?
So what do you want me to do right now?
I don't want you to do anything. I'm only giving you the truth. What you do with it is your choice. But I'll give you one final thing. This week, do not complain about not being recognized. If you want to speak, ask instead of complaining. Ask your wife, what do you need from me? Ask your kids, how do you see me? Ask yourself, am I doing this because I choose to, or because I'm afraid? And do one thing. Before 11 p.m. tonight, write down the answer to this question. If no one was watching, how would I live? It doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to be true.
And if I don't know the answer?
Then write, I don't know. That's also an answer. And it's more honest than any role you've ever played.
Will you come back?
I'm always here. You just need courage to look. But remember, next time you call me, make sure you're ready to listen. Because I don't comfort, I only expose. And sometimes, the truth will hurt more than the illusion you're holding on to.
I'll try.
Try is the word of someone afraid to fail. Don't try. Do or don't do. But don't pretend that trying is enough, because it's never enough. It's just another way to hide.